So let's see today's delicious prawns rice recipe. Now here I have pre-cooked 1 cup of rice. I will leave the instructions in the description box as to how I made that. You don't have to completely cook the rice. They have to be just about done. And then you're going to drain all the excess water like this by keeping it over a colander. And then you'll get this lovely rice where the grains are separate and they're not mushed up. Now I'm going to be deveining and washing the prawns. So 1 cup of prawns I'm going to be using for this prawn rice. So, devein it very well, wash it very well and set it aside like this. Then I'm going to sprinkle about half a teaspoon of red chili powder. Here the prawns are nice and dry. So after you wash them, just put them on a kitchen napkin and just wipe them completely dry. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of Macaroni Masala, or you get fish masala. This is ready-made. Just sprinkle that over the prawns. Next, I'm going to sprinkle some salt to taste and about half a teaspoon of haldi powder or turmeric powder. And then I'm also going to sprinkle about 1 teaspoon of rice flour and set this aside. First, mix everything very well, and then we're going to set this aside for 15 minutes to marinate, 15 to 20 minutes to marinate. And after that, you're just going to heat about a tablespoon of oil in a pan and just fry these prawns really, really well till they are nice and golden brown. So they should look like this once they're really done. And the prawns should really, really fry very well like this. And then I'm just going to put the heat off and just garnish it with some fresh coriander. So this is the prawns part of it, which is ready. So just mix all of that really well and just set it aside. And now to prepare the simple prawn rice. In a large pan, I'm going to heat about 1 tablespoon of oil. Once the oil is hot, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera and 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. Then I'm going to add this rice that we prepared and mix everything really well. Then I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of kokum or amsul juice. All I did is I took 3 to 4 kokums and soaked them in about 4 tablespoons of water. And once I extracted the juice, I added that. Then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of pepper powder and mix everything really, really well. And then all you have to do is, this is the rice, you just add the prawns to it, mix it really well, and your simple prawn rice is all ready. This is really very easy to prepare, gets ready also very quickly, and it's super, super delicious. Goan cabbage Foogath. Now here I've taken one medium-sized cabbage, washed it really well, and I've soaked it in water for about 15 minutes, to which I added salt. After that again I rinsed it well. Now I'm going to take off the stalk and I'm going to cut it up into half. Now take off any little bit of brownish leaves that are there. And now I'm just going to cut around it like this, just turning the cabbage around with a very sharp knife. And don't use the white stalk part. So just keep turning the cabbage around and just keep cutting. And that way you'll get these nice thin shreds. And again I'm going to go, once I finish with it, I'm going to again take my knife and just go over the leaves again and cut them up really thin. So don't use the white thick stocky part. Now this recipe is super simple. It gets ready within about hardly 8 minutes because cabbage cooks really fast. And it has very few ingredients, as you'll see. And this can be had with chapatis or even with some fish curry rice. It's really nice. And now after chopping up the cabbage, I'm going to transfer it to a bowl, and you can see if there are any big parts, just run your knife through them. And one more tip is always discard the outer covering of the cabbage leaves. However fresh they look, don't use those leaves. Anyway, let's go on to the recipe. So here I've heated about 1 tablespoon of oil. Once my oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of mustard seeds, which is also called mori or rye. Now let the mustard seeds splutter in the oil. I'm going to add 1 chopped green chili. They're cooking on a low to medium flame. Let the chili fry nicely in the oil. Then I've taken 1 inch of ginger, chopped it really fine. I'm going to add that. Let the ginger also fry in the oil. Next, I'm going to add a few curry leaves, say about 7 or 8 curry leaves. You can keep the curry leaves whole or you can even chop them. Then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi powder. And last, I'm going to add 1 medium-sized onion that I've cut fine. Now we're going to bagar everything or fry everything really well till the onion gets a nice and translucent. So we're done with all the ingredients. Now we just have to add our cabbage, which we've chopped. I've used the entire medium-sized cabbage. This is enough for 4 people. And then mix everything well. See that the bagar, coats all of the cabbage nicely. So you don't have any white parts of the cabbage, but everything is nicely covered with the yellow bagar. This is very important. Now cabbage is one thing which cooks so fast because you can even eat cabbage raw. So, it doesn't take much time, and you shouldn't have a very mushy cabbage also. So just cover and cook this for about 5 minutes on a low to medium flame and keep stirring in between. And now we're just going to add some salt to taste, and I like to add a pinch of sugar. Now again mix everything well. See that the salt and the sugar coat everything really well. So our cabbage is almost cooked. So now I'm just going to keep it on an open flame and just stir it around. So we just have another 2 minutes of cooking this and we are almost done. So this is a super fast dish. So you can always, prep your cabbage, keep it cut in the refrigerator, and then when you're ready, just get get it done. So now I'm just going to cook this for 1 minute. And now I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of fresh grated coconut. Now you can go less on the coconut, but I like to add a lot of coconut to my cabbage. It just elevates the flavor. You can also add a little bit just for garnish. But I like to add a whole, 1/4 cup of nicely freshly grated coconut. And now mix everything well. The cabbage has to be mixed nicely with the coconut. And now we just have about half a minute of cooking, and then we're going to turn off the flame and your recipe is all ready. So you can have this, with nice chapatis, or you can have it as a side dish with some fish curry rice, or even with a meat curry rice, anything. It's just very nice and delicious and really refreshing and nice for the summer too. So I hope you like this recipe. To give it a try, I'll catch you in my next video. This is Akshata signing off. Bye guys. With today's lovely recipe. Now here I'm taking 4 paos, which are just about a day old. You can use fresh pao too, or you can even use slices of bread, but the taste of pao has its own unique taste. Now I'm going to use a serrated knife. This helps in getting really even slices or pieces, and I'm going to cut them into 2 equal halves, and then I'm just going to spread them out and flatten them a bit. So do this with all of the pieces. And now here I've taken 1 egg. I'm going to add it to my mixing bowl. Using a fork or a whisk, I'm going to beat this egg really well till we can only see the yellow of the egg or the yolk of the egg. So beat that really well. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. You can substitute this with some cardamom or elaichi powder if you don't have vanilla essence, or if you don't want to use vanilla essence. Mix the 2 ingredients really well together. Now I'm going to use half a cup of milk. Again, mix everything really well. I'm going to add a pinch of salt. I generally always add, a little salt to a dessert and a little sugar to a savory dish. It just brings out the flavor, elevates the flavor of the dish. So mix all these 3 ingredients really well together. And now I'm going to add half a cup of powdered sugar. And I'm going to retain about a teaspoon or so for dusting on top, which is optional. Now you're going to mix this till all of the sugar is dissolved. Now we're going to soak all these pieces of bread in this milk mixture. So just soak them really well for about half a minute or so. And then you're just going to drain all the excess. Don't press the bread, just drain the excess. Don't squeeze the liquid out, just drain all the milk which is there, the excess, and place it on another plate. We want this bread to be soaked with all of this lovely milk mixture. So don't squeeze it out, just take out the excess and then put it in another plate. So do this with all of the pieces of bread, and if there is any milk mixture left, just pour it over the bread. We want to use all of that milk mixture because all the flavor is there in that milk mixture. And then I'm just going to heat about a teaspoon and a half of butter. You can also use ghee. I prefer using ghee rather than butter. And then just swirl it around in your pan so that it coats the pan evenly. And then we're just going to place the pieces. And we're going to nicely fry this till they're nice and golden brown on both sides. So once the edges start becoming golden brown in color, you're just going to turn it on the other side and press it down and fry it till it's nice and crispy. So we're looking for this lovely crispy texture. The sugar helps to caramelize the top and the bottom. That way it really tastes amazing and crunchy and crispy. So in this way, fry all of them. And once they're done, just transfer them to a plate and fry the remaining in the same way. This is one of my favorite tea time snacks. Of course, I don't have it on a regular basis. I just indulge in it once in a way. But it's really, really delicious. And now for presentation, we're going to put them on a beautiful serving plate. And then just to make it a little pretty, we're going to just dust some powdered sugar. Like I said, this is completely optional, but it looks very pretty and it tastes amazing. So give this a try, guys.